first.
Going to see some cooler temperatures on the way the next couple of days, the next few days, as a matter of fact, but then it heats up for our Thursday. Mostly cloudy and 70 is where we're headed. Tomorrow, partly sunny, 84 for the high. From the Weather Channel, I'm Jeff Eno on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Detroit's home for Michigan State basketball and football is Spartans Radio 760 WJR. It's time for Spin on Golf on 760 WJR, live at Eagle Crest Golf Resort in Ypsilanti. Now here's your hosts, PGA professionals Jordan Young, Brian Cairns, Mike Fay, and WJR's own Sean Balagian.
Well, so glad you can join us here for another edition of Spin on Golf here on 760 WJR. Special location, and I'm going to tell you what, you would be hard-pressed to find a better view, a more beautiful view, and I'm serious when I say this. I want you to hear me. Anywhere in the state of Michigan than where we're sitting right now. It is incredibly picturesque. I'm looking at Dave Rieger's beautiful face, and there's nothing better. No, seriously, we are at Eagle Crest out here in Ypsilanti, and when you're talking about sitting in the clubhouse, you know, whether it be downstairs or we're upstairs, and looking out into that valley and lakes and the, you know, the rolling trees, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's quite a sight. It really does remind you of being up near Traverse City. Like when you first look at it, you're like, oh, I'm in Traverse City right now. No, you're right here in Ypsilanti.
A lot of memories here. I wore my Eagles and
Eagle Pride.
I'm glad you didn't wear your Spartans hat today. I was going to remind you of that, even though you're a Huron Eagle, but great spot out here. I still remember the first time I came here on a recruiting trip. I didn't have my clubs for some reason. I don't know if I was allowed to bring them, but I was down on the range hitting balls. And Gene Smith was the athletic director back in the day. And I'm down there and he was chirping at, I think Bruce Cunningham was, or no, I'm sorry, John Jenkins was the coach back then. And he goes, "Hey, Coach Jenkins, what are you doing?" He's like, "Well, that's our new recruit down there." And he's like, "He can't be here. There's a violation." And he goes, "Oh, just let him hit a few more balls." Something like that. But I still remember that. And then, that's when I met Mark Johnson, who's a good friend of ours, and the Johnson family. And here we are, still here.
Well, we're here for a special reason. I mean, not only this is our last show of the year, BC's, with us, Mike Fay here as well, but a really cool happening out here, not just for Eastern Michigan, I think for golf in general. And without further ado, because he's been sitting here waiting so patiently with us. Let's get him in right now. Jeff Bourdon, a part of Game Above, and he was kind enough a few minutes before the show to give us a little tour, if you will, of this unbelievable facility that they're building here at Eagle Crest. $8 million. And the idea of it, and you could start to see it come together. But let's welcome him in, Jeff Bourdon, again from Game Above. Jeff, really appreciate you having us out here and showing us everything.
Hey, thanks a lot. It's exciting to be here now that we've been working on this since 2019. It started out on the west side of campus, and then it just evolved over to this course, which, Eastern's listed, Eagle Crest is listed as number 13 in the United States as far as college courses, and it's a beautiful one. So that building over there, that's $8 million, is 11,000 square feet. So it's going to give EMU athletes a big advantage to working in it all year round.
It's awesome. And Jordan, I know you have a bunch of questions. I have to give you guys some public accolade. I know you don't want it, but I'm going to give it anyway. You were telling us a group of guys that just basically said, "Hey, listen, we want to give back." And I mean, if we could all be a little bit more like that, I think the world would be a better place. But tell us how that started with Game Above. I mean, you guys only been going, about 4 years now?
Yeah, started in 2000, kind of at the end of 2019, and it was originally, I think it was about 25 members. So there's women and men, that are involved in it, all EMU alumni, ranging in ages from late 20s to 90 some years old. Doc Sims was an athlete at Eastern Michigan. He's still involved in it. And what we originally started off was the gift with the golf building, but that's evolved into actually running the Game Above College of Engineering and Technology to supporting the faculty, supporting the administration, students, and the local community of Ypsilanti. So we've done a lot of things. And since that 2019, we've become the largest donor ever to the Eastern Michigan University of donating over $30 million in that period of time.
You know, it's just pretty cool to see all these great things going on for Eagle or for, you know, Eastern and the program and Game Above is. I'm proud to be a part of it. I actually said to everybody that I was involved in, you know, my wife's a lot smarter and a lot better looking than me. I think she should be more involved. She's way more influential than I am. So she's involved and she's doing some great stuff. And it's real exciting, inspiring for sure.
Tell us a little bit about the facility. You know, we had a chance to obviously see where you guys are at. You're talking about they're hoping to get it done by November, but what kind of things do we expect over there?
Well, what you've got over there is you've got a 4,000 square foot chipping and putting area. Preston Moon's coming in from Envyscapes that is doing that, and he's world renowned. We went to probably 10 or 15 different universities to take a look at what they had so we could take the good things and avoid some of the pitfalls that they've been in. So they've got also a huge lounge over there, conference room, lockers, club fitting area. They do have a couple simulators out there, another 4 hitting bays. So they're going to be able to utilize that all through the winter months. They'll have a study area up there. They'll have food and drinks available for them. So it's going to move Eastern that have been kind of just using, you know, having their funds on a string for the past years to be in, you know, one of the best premier colleges out there as far as facilities and resources to back them.
You know, Mike, as you know, up in the north, we have to have these facilities, right?
Yeah.
You know, whether it's Big Ten facilities or the MAC facilities, this is going to be the best. This will be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
It's awesome developmental program. You guys are.
Yeah, and this is just for the golf team too. This is for the women's team and the men's team.
Yep.
And it's their little baby. So
I hope
to be able to recruit and to have them in there training all year round. I mean, they come out to our place sometimes in practice. They need some place to hit in the wintertime, and now this is going to be their little
Yeah,
baby.
it's
So
gonna be
it's
good.
pretty special.
Jeff Bourdon from Game Above kindly joining us. Jeff, one of the cool things I had to bang on the window. You guys have like special glass in there too, like literally bulletproof. So if Jordan wants to walk by, I can fire golf balls at him and he can wave and stick his tongue out. But you're not going to do any damage in there.
No, there's
hope not.
it's set up for that. I mean, we have minimum. We went and have a minimum of 30 feet as far as a height in there. It's a little bit higher than that, and people that recommended different windows and stuff. I mean, Granger's the contractor on this. They've been pretty receptive to getting involved and making sure that we have the correct material. So yeah, the window is supposed to be indestructible, but we're not planning on having Aaron shots into it.
Well, it certainly looks like it.
So that's not open to the public, but there'll probably be some administrator from Eastern that gets in there and whacks it around the wrong spot.
Well, put that in the budget somehow, right?
You know, Jordan, you were mentioning you and Mark, and I knew a few guys back in the day. You know, we're talking, gosh, it's 30 years now. It's got to make you feel good to see where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, we used to be in this building in the winter in the basement in a net, and there would be one person hitting or 2 people at a time, and 7 or 8 of us would stand down there, and we'd hit balls, and we'd break every PVC pipe that's up there, or somehow crack it, and it just things have evolved, and it's going to be so special. So I mean, to go from there 25 years ago or more till now, big difference.
Pretty
I'm proud
cool.
of them. Proud
Jeff Bourdon, really appreciate you having us out, and keep doing what you're doing with Game Above. That's just awesome. It's tremendous.
Thanks a lot for coming out.
Yeah,
Put the
appreciate
spotlight
it.
on it. Appreciate it.
Once again, Jeff Bourdon from Game Above. It is Spin on Golf. We'll talk a little bit about the BMW. Vic was on fire today. We'll get into
He
that
had
when we
one
come
blemish
back.
on the back.
Yeah,
4.
shame on
A
him.
birdie.
Shame on him. Spin on Golf on a Sunday night. Glad you could join us. 760 WJR.
So, it's time to paint your home's exterior. Again? How long is it going to last this time? 5?
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
So we want to see you next week.
Think about you. Good luck. I'm gonna have a good time, so I'll probably win, but against 3,200 guys, I think my odds are pretty good.
Don't get
I think they're pretty good.
It'd be a fine line. Play good, but don't get too All right, thanks.
Take care. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
We have a 19-year-old winner on the LPGA Tour.
Whoa.
Playoff.
3-way playoff, right?
Yes.
Was it
Very
the
good story.
British or Irish or what was that?
Yeah, it was over in Northern Ireland. Yeah, Northern Ireland.
This is one
I've got it all right.
This is one that I've been going like this all
It was a good story. Right
What?
there.
Just back and forth and everything?
It's like everybody wants their last with my daughter, so we had last breakfast with one grandma,
Oh.
and last lunch with the other grandma. So
This girl is a 3-time national drive chip and putt finalist.
for real?
First time ever.
The girl that won?
So I thought that would be fun to talk about
That's cool.
at 19 years old. And she's from the United States of America.
Mm.
Which is very nice. Yeah, we're on a roll here. The last, 4 tournaments? 3,
Mm-hmm.
So BC said after 6:30, but he's there.
Mm-hmm.
He's muted right now.
BC, can you hear us? He can hear us, but you don't want to be on, or what do you want to be on? 1 second.
Doing trust work.
Doing trust work. Okay.
Yeah, we can wait till after 6:30 if he wants. I just texted.
Hovland. Wasn't he picked number 3 on the Ryder Cup? He's been picked already.
I was stuck on Woodward Friday afternoon
Oh,
for 35 minutes to go 3 miles.
I've never gone anywhere close there. But I did go downtown last night to the top of the Rensen and to for dinner, and it was crazy busy. There was some festival going on, like some, I don't know what it was, but it was a lot of people, a lot of police.
Gosh, she's a baby. She's a baby. She's a baby.
I know.
Yeah, Jordan, I was at the Nickel for 3 years.
Maybe I remember that now.
It wasn't.
You were working in the front, or just kind of? Yeah, I remember that now. I think I remember that
Then they just put.
because you guys were all living together. So I know I probably came over there and hung out.
Oh man, I can't tell you. It's just,
Was that with Locke?
I would have thought Locke.
You?
No,
I had become
No, Locke
very
wasn't
burnt
there.
out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Welcome back. It's Spin on Golf on WJR, direct from Eagle Crest Golf Resort. Once again, live in Ypsilanti, here are PGA professionals Jordan Young, Brian Cairns, Mike Fay, and WJR's own Sean Balagian.
So glad you can join us. It is Spin on Golf on a Sunday night. By the way, we're going to have BC weather this week.
We're gonna have what?
We're going to have BC weather this week.
What's that?
It's supposed to get
Oh.
literally like 95, 96 later on this week.
Oh, I thought you were gonna talk about like a black cloud or something.
British Columbia? No.
Don't worry about it.
BC.
It's coming at the end. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, BC, I don't know if you saw it. So 87 tomorrow, 96 on Thursday. 96.
Awesome.
They
That's
said it
awesome.
could break a record.
Not good for Thursday.
Teaching 7 to 7. That'll be an awesome day.
Yeah, that day's not going to go too well.
BMW championship. You want to talk about a guy that just rose up and said, "This tournament is mine, and there's nothing you can do about it." Vic gets it done today with a 9 under 61. Wins what? By 2 strokes, correct?
Yeah, if you make 12 threes, you're probably going to play pretty well. I don't care what kind of course. 12 threes, that leaves 6 holes to do whatever you want with.
Hey, BC, do you think his proximity to the hole was the best on the tour this week?
Proximity was 11 feet 8 inches.
Oh,
Greens and
Wow.
regulation.
so
Yep.
good. So good.
And he was trailing. He was trailing coming down the stretch, and Scheffler made a bogey, and he just kept making birdies.
Scheffler 3-putt 17. Like, come on. Gee,
Mhm.
misses a
Yeah.
3.5 footer.
That was crazy.
You know, and it's interesting because I know one person in particular smiling a little bit. I thought that Rory was going to make a charge.
Head to
I
head.
was waiting
Who
for
took
that.
one down?
And it's not. Yeah. And it's not like he faded. I mean, he shot 67, 66, but when the guys around him are shooting 64, 65, 66, 66, and 65, 61, you're going to end up exactly where he ended up, and that's 5 strokes back.
Right where it belongs.
Yeah, it's interesting. Do you have the latest? Do you have the latest FedEx?
I had it
standings?
pulled up, and now it disappeared. So I'm going to have to look for that again.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. But again, Victor Hovland, 17 under for the tournament, 9 under today, wins the BMW
He
championship.
played
the US
two
Am.
US Opens,
The US
two
Am.
US Opens, 2 PGAs there, and he shoots 61. That's just unbelievable.
Jeez.
Nick Dunlop got her
Yeah.
done at the US Am, yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
really-
1 foot 4 and 3,
really-
right? And then Neil Shipley for Ohio State, and Dunlop's Alabama, right?
Yep.
From
There's
Tuscaloosa,
only 2
Alabama.
guys in the history of the game that have won the US Junior and the US Amateur. Dunlop and El Tigre.
Jeez. Unbelievable. Hey, I meant to ask you, how did Jimmy Dales do? Mutual friend, local guy. How did Jimmy do, BC?
I actually was on the bag last Monday at Colorado Golf Club, and he was a little tight. Had to whistle some
Cherry
wedges
Hill,
over the
huh?
greens. Not too well.
Yeah.
He had 78, and then I think he had 75. He made a big number on his last hole, but he was just a little tight. But I expect him to have a good college season. It'll be a good year.
Absolutely.
For him. But
Yeah,
what a cool
a
place,
heck of a-
Cherry Hills. Woo! What a cool place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had you been there before, BC? Yeah.
I played in the junior
Okay.
tournament there
Good
in like
stuff. I-
1979. So it's been a long time, and it's totally done. They spent $75 million redoing their clubhouse, and the golf course is just an old classic William Flynn. It's a beauty.
Oh, that's awesome.
Was it firm and fast?
Colorado Golf Club was. Core
BC, was it
franchise
firm
first.
and fast or what?
Yes, it was. Am I not there?
Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. You came back in. So do you guys have the updated
Mike's
FedEx?
got it.
Mike
Mike's
Fay's
got it
all
up
over.
here.
Scheffler's first, Hovland's second, then McIlroy's third, Rahm's fourth, and Lucas Glover is in 5th position in
But
the FedEx Cup.
More importantly, let's go down to the 30th, 31st, and 32nd
Yes, let's
because
see what happened here.
I heard Seth Thagala
Seth
just
got
missed
in
out.
there, and Thagala is out. And Jordan Spieth is in there. He was out. with
So
about 4
Thagala,
holes to
Kirk,
play.
McCarthy, Justin Rose, and Putnam are all on the outside looking in.
Mhm.
They all bogeyed
Very,
the
very
last
small margin.
hole, too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
All those
Thagala
guys.
bogeyed the last hole and let
Jeez.
Spieth in.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
That's only
That's a lot.
Yeah.
$250,000.
A heck.
No big deal. $250,000.
Oh my.
Exempt for the Masters. No big deal, because I'm for all the majors. Maybe $1 million deal. Not that big of a deal.
Mike, you were talking about the girls. They had a three-way playoff. An interesting story with the 19-year-old coming out with the playoff victory.
Yes, Alexa Pano, excuse me, from the United States wins it, takes it in a 3-hole playoff. She even knocks it on a 2 in the second playoff hole to make birdie and to tie and keep rolling along.
And how old is she?
19 years old.
She looks like a baby.
Second year on tour.
Second year
on tour. Last year, she made it. She turned professional in April of 2022.
Gosh.
Okay. And we were going through, just trying to learn a little about Alexa. As an amateur, Pano was the first 3-time national finalist in drive, chip, and putt competition.
That's pretty cool.
Finalist, right?
That's pretty cool.
Became the youngest golfer at age 11 to play in the JLPGA Tour event, in the 2016 Yonex Ladies Open, as was the youngest player in the inaugural Augusta National Women's Amateur.
Wow.
How about that?
Jeez, oh, Pete.
How good are you?
Good.
How good are you?
Good for her. Good for her. 19 years old. BC, I don't know if you saw her. I mean, honestly, she looks like a baby, man.
Oh,
she really
looks younger than a 12-year-old. I can tell you that much. Where'd they play, Mike? Do they play up north?
Yeah, they're up north. Yeah.
By the way, we wanted to get this in. I know we'll talk about some of the other things going in. I wanted to get this in, especially with BC there. Live Golf Invitational about a month from now. $25 million purse in Chicago. So that is something that we're going to be keeping an eye on. And obviously, and hopefully I can catch up with these guys during the week sometime on Sports Wrap. Certainly want to talk about what happens with FedEx and look ahead to the Ryder Cup as well.
Little Ryder Cup.
It's tremendous. Absolutely.
Victor Hovland, certainly a good selection, right?
Yeah, I think that's a fair selection. I think that's
and BC's boy Rory. That's probably a pretty good selection. And Rom, right? That's a pretty good top
selection.
3.
I think
so far.
That's fair. That's
fair. Who would you come back with the U.S.? Who's your top 3 U.S. to match those guys?
Let's think about that during the break.
Okay.
Let's think because
they're automatics.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm just saying, who are your is it Scheffler? I mean, who is it? DJ Scheffler and who?
Who would you?
Bryson? I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh, it's a good question. We'll talk a little bit about that.
Okay. Give me your top 3 to match that.
Boy, it's going to be tough to match it, isn't it?
Well,
right. A little bit.
I don't know.
A little bit. All right, fantastic. Well, listen, we've got lots of stuff. We didn't have BC last week, so maybe we can have a punk of the week. And BC, if you're up for it, a punk of the year.
Punk of the year.
We haven't had a poi ever.
P-O-Y.
Poi? Would that be a poi?
Wow, that's going to be a title they're going to hold.
Sounds like
for
a sandwich
time.
you get in New Orleans, right? Can I get one of those
POL.
poi boys or
Punk of life?
the punk of life?
It's a national award.
It's like a lifetime achievement award.
Lifetime achievement. In memory of Frank Beckman, I got his wedge out, chipping in the
very
that's
nice.
awesome. All right, we'll talk a little Ryder Cup. We'll give BC the homework assignment, not only the punk of the week, but the punk of the year. So glad you can join us on a Sunday night. Boy, it flew by, but it is our final show of the season here. We are at the beautiful Eagle Crest, just off the campus of Eastern Michigan University. I'm serious, if you haven't been out here yet, breathtaking view from the clubhouse. Really anywhere on the course when you think about it. Gang's all here. Glad you are as well. It's Spin on Golf on 760 WJR.
If
So,
you've been injured in an
Sean,
auto accident, anyone from
did you hear who we would play with in the Pro-Am last week?
No.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, I saw that picture. Yes, is that unbelievable?
You are on YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't forget. Yeah.
What were you saying?
Pretty bizarre.
Oh yeah.
I mean, pretty bizarre. And Trump lives on property, so Trump, always sat down and had lunch with all the players every day. So it was kind of a cool week.
You can talk about that in this segment.
I don't know if I can talk on a rated G level about
Well,
it.
no, I think it's worthy of talking about.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because he shared, or he shared, I don't know how I'm going to say it. It shared the 19th. I'll never forget coming across the finish line with the arms up, the ribbon there, 1976, winning the decathlon.
In Montreal. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, Montreal. You got it. Never forget it.
Yep.
Had the Wheaties box too.
I know.
I
don't know. The U.S. thing, it might be like Cantlay, Wyndham, right? There's some good choices.
Well, there's 6 autos.
America.
Yeah.
How about Captain America?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's still out there.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
I think Brian Harmon's going to be just someone that's really hard to beat.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
I don't know. Let's see who my picks are. We got the Shaw Classic going on in Calgary. I wonder if they're getting fired out there.
No, they said it was okay. It was clear.
Smoke everywhere in the West.
A guy like Max. I mean, I don't know. They're
Max Homer.
Lucas Glover, though.
Yeah.
Lucas Glover in.
Lucas Glover. Man, that guy. Jeez. That is impressive. Who else we got here?
I cannot believe I'm going to see Barbie tonight. Like, I'm so mad at myself how I got talked into that.
Yeah, that's going to be a good segue. Talking about getting into fights, the wooden nickel, reminiscing of our
I'll
past
never talk
here.
about that
No, and then going to Barbie tonight.
It's what happens when you have a little girl, man.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
Does Cam Young make it? Does Xander Schauffele make it?
Jeez, those are tough ones, man. I mean, who's playing best?
Oh, yeah.
Morikawa.
Epson canceled
Glover.
today's round in Oregon due to air quality.
Yeah. Ricky Fowler.
Out.
Fowler. Keegan Bradley's had a really good year. Spieth. I don't know. Finau.
Wow, it's a month away.
Yeah.
Little over a month. What, September 25th?
No, it's in 2.5 weeks, Mike.
What's that?
Walker Cup.
That's right.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer skills in these matters. And that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Offices in Detroit, Ann Arbor, and Grand Rapids. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Welcome back. It's Spin on Golf on WJR, direct from Eagle Crest Golf Resort. Once again, live in Ypsilanti, here are PGA professionals Jordan Young, Brian Cairns, Mike Fay, and WJR's own Sean Balagian.
So glad you could join us. A beautiful location out here at Eagle Crest in Ypsilanti. Yeah, we were just talking about there's so much to get into in the next couple segments, including a POW and a POY.
PO and POL.
I can't even, yeah, POL for life.
We might as well put in POS too. Who knows?
Ryder
Cup at the Marco Simone Golf and Country Club in Rome, September 25th through October 1st. And Jordan, I thought you posed an interesting question. You're seeing how the European team is coming together. The American team, it's going to be very interesting. Now, BC, you think top three are easy, almost no-brainer?
Yep.
I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah, no-brainer. I mean,
Okay.
Scheffler, Wyndham Clark, Cantlay are in. for sure.
Well,
I think Brian Harmon's in too. And Koepka is a reigning champion.
Koepka,
and,
Johnson, and Scheffler have got to be the top three.
Wyndham Clark sitting at number 2, basically. He's basically in the top 5 or 6 automatically.
I'm just talking if you would just name the top 3 guys right now that are Americans. Who would you have as your top 3? Not even looking at the rankings.
Oh, Scheffler, Koepka, and Brian Harmon.
Wow,
pretty hard to argue.
Brian Harmon.
You know what? It's funny. BC.
Harmon's number 4.
Yeah, Mike Fay said that during the break. He was like, he's going to give somebody a problem when the opportunity arises.
He's gonna give a big problem.
He's and the golf course would suit him the best. Not a big ball beaters place, so Harmon would just be perfect, just hitting his little dink down the middle.
Do you think they're going to come out in like chariots and then like get off the chariot and like present themselves? I think that'd be kind of cool. It's in Rome, man.
With helmets and armor.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool, right? The Golden Knight type thing.
Sick a bunch
Nah,
of
we're
lions
paying
on
for
the
it. PGA
European
America.
team.
You know, why not? PGA's money, whatever. Spend it.
BC, we know you were out east last week at Bedminster. You had some interesting stories. You met some Olympian. You met the former president. Had some lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was cool.
Tell us about your week out there.
Well, we went to where was I? I don't even know where I've been. Greenbrier first. Greenbrier was cool. What a cool place. I mean, basically a big building that's just like the Grand Hotel, same design, but updated. You know, same designer, same architect. Really cool place. The white course we played was a Seth Rayner, which my favorite designer of all time. And then we went to Bedminster, which is a Fazio design, but the home of Donald Trump lives on property, so security was tight and sitting around.
Looks like a great golf course, though.
Big golf course. It was 7750. Big golf course, a lot of rough. Cam Young ran away with that one, basically being 41st in driving, but first in putting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was cool sitting around every morning, and then you knew when somebody was roaming around with all the thugs coming in, the Secret Service, and the Don sat down with us one day when we were having breakfast and started shooting the, shooting the crap with us and talking about just golf. It was kind of cool just talking golf with 45/47. That's my only
is that his handicap?
Yeah, that's his handicap.
I thought maybe they're his rounds. He shot a 45.
It was pretty cool. Then Thursday morning, I'm sitting there having breakfast, and James Caddy comes in, Dan Ellis, and Josh Stein was there too, one of James' best friends growing up. And they say, "Hey, BC, who see who the pairing is today?" I'm like, "No, I don't know who we're playing with." And he goes, "Caitlyn Jenner." I went, "Huh." He goes, "We purposely didn't tell you until the last minute because we feared."
And you're caddying for him. I mean her.
I don't know. Some of the local kids there at Bedminster caddying for him.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was cool. And they shared the Olympic story. He shared the Olympic story with us and the preparation for it, which was 1976, long time ago. But man, obviously, he can certainly hit it 260 yards, pretty far for
Isn't it funny?
I don't know how to say it.
Like, it's so interesting, BC, because like guys like us, the younger generation thinks of Jenner as the Kardashians, and
you're
then,
very smart to say Jenner.
Yeah, and then one Jenner, and then another Jenner, and gender, and everything. Like we were talking about this during the break. Like people don't even realize that was like the greatest athlete in the world.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And everywhere for a few years on television
time.
shows, on Wheaties boxes.
It's like Usain Bolt of the time. Right?
Yeah, I mean the famous picture. I think we can all see it on the Wheaties box. Like that. That's kind of like the iconic picture. And people probably think Kardashians and the whole Jenner gender thing, but I mean a phenomenal athlete.
Mm-hmm. And a pretty good golfer, I guess, right, Brian?
Really good golfer. And then, of course, they got me on clips. We play with Mark Small. Mark Small is a comedian, and what a trip this guy was. I mean, he goes, dude, I got to go over and get some acid, and I got to take some acid when you're talking golf with me because I'm not. The guy's tripping on acid when we're playing with him. I'm like, holy moly, what is going on here today? It was one of the most bizarre days of my.
And I hear James is going to be the next Bachelor.
Yeah, we had some YouTube videos of James. Yeah, who's the next Bachelor? It's an obvious one, James Pyatt. But yeah, cool week, cool stuff, and then the USAM to follow up was really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. That's Mike Fay. What's going on with you? I know your daughter's. She already started back in school, right?
She
started. Yeah,
girls' high school golf, baby.
Yeah, how's it going so far?
It's going great.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, girls have another tournament that they're playing in, and a whole bunch. I mean, it's in full swing right now, and there's times when there's 3 or 4 events in a week, in the same week, between matches and tournaments, and very, very busy for girls golf season. It's good.
I've got something for Brian. On social media this week, there was a bunch of posts, well, maybe the last week and a half, about putting and the scientific, we'll say, science behind practice strokes and no practice strokes when you're putting, and how that might impede your performance. Brian, what do you think on practice strokes or no practice strokes, or at least the shorter putts versus the longer putts? The science is now there. I have to read into it more, but what's your take on that?
The stuff that I was looking at with Ben Cowan, Ben's obviously out there, the Englishman who coaches Brooks and, Peters and DJ, the short game stuff. They believe in limited practice strokes. And then he's on the flip side, some guys like DJ who doesn't really have a good feel, believe in multiple practice strokes. So he's leaving it up to the individual. But, what I've always taught, binocular vision behind the ball, having your sight field take over, kind of taking a practice swing to go from a driver to a wedge. You're obviously taking a practice swing with a wedge because you're trying to feel the ground and feel the texture of the ground underneath the ball potentially. So that's kind of the same neurological pattern training that you're trying to get in putting, is basic sight feel. Now they're working in sound with it too. So you can hear kind of a, rhythmic cybervision, if anybody remembers that, a musical instrument with your stroke, zing. So there's a lot of that going on out there that the players are trying and using. I've seen some of the stuff online, Jordan. I haven't really dove into it. I'm just kind of getting what I'm hearing from the guys out there in the Live Tour and the putting gurus. And it's a lot more to do with, visualization and sound and feel than anything else.
I was talking with some of my guys today, and I said, if you watch Rory and DJ, they don't really, Rory does not take a practice stroke. He walks in from behind and he sets it and goes. And there are other guys that are doing that too. I think Brooks does it as well. But DJ does take some rhythmic strokes when he putts. Now, I think of myself, I'm just taking a rhythmic practice stroke to develop some feel in my hands.
Sure.
So it's more about rhythm and feel in my hands and tension. It really has nothing to do with my stroke. It's just kind of feel the handle. Now, Brian, who makes a lot of putts, he goes behind the ball and sets his putter and then meanders his way, like keeps the putter stable and meanders his way to the side, takes 1 or 2 quick looks and goes. So there's no putting stroke or practice stroke there. He might take a couple behind the ball, like looking straight at the hole. So there's different ways, and I think it's a little bit different for everybody. But I will say longer putts, I think it's more common for guys or people for me, for sure, to take some feel strokes. Shorter ones, maybe not so much. Mike, what's your quick take on that?
I totally agree with you. I think you need to move your putter a little bit, especially the longer the putt is. Get some rhythm and some timing. That works.
I mean, the biggest thing is just interference.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's just interference for performance, and you want to have clear performance out there for you.
When we come back, obviously, we'll tell you about what's happening out in Oregon with the Epson, or, as it were, what isn't happening out in Oregon with the Epson. I see there. I go. POW, POY, POL. Oh, maybe
And
a
POS, and POS.
maybe a lifetime achievement award we'll be giving out here tonight. I don't know. We'll let BC decide. Glad you could join us. We got one more segment here from beautiful Eagle Crest on the campus of Eastern Michigan University in lovely Ypsilanti here on 760 WJR.
Yes.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If
Audio, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yalabam. That's basically it. Ooh. What was that? I've heard of it. Yeah. Well, BC, you still there?
Yeah.
Audio golf. That's what Traub was talking a lot about, right? Wasn't it?
Yes.
The Yalabam?
Yep. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been talking about that for about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last year we went down there, and he was there.
Hasn't he been doing a bunch of clinics with guys with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Traub's been
not-
traveling around. I went
not-
down there and looked.
Did I say Trump or Traub? I meant Traub. Traub.
Well,
Yeah.
kind of one and the same, but it's pretty remarkable. Pretty like jaw mind. I saw it this last winter. I was like, wow, really good stuff. I mean, it's diving in more of the visualization stuff than I ever thought they could do. But like anything else, you got to get people to start believing in that stuff.
Yeah. Petrovic leads by 2 shots at the Charity Classic.
Yeah, we hung out with him for 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Petrovic, good guy.
Chia Chow.
Chia Chow.
From Austria. World-class pianist.
Jai Day tied
Don't
for the
duck
lead.
Day.
He's
Bruce
in the
Jenner's
clubhouse.
cat.
Kenny Duke and Petrovic.
Yeah, 18.
They're all tied at 13, but those guys have two holes or 3 holes to go.
17's hard. 17's a straightaway one. 18's a reachable 5 par. With a lake in front.
BC's twin, Jerry Kelly, T9.
Look at that purse in Calgary, though. That's a $2.4 million purse.
That's a cool place. That is one cool place, Calgary.
Yeah,
I
Calgary's
really
awesome.
like Calgary.
Yeah, Calgary's a great city.
Tons of money. Oil money.
Edmonton, not so much.
Not Edmonton.
Not great. Not great.
Oil
The
more in
PGA
Edmonton.
The PGA Tour and all their philanthropy has raised more than $3.6 billion for charity since the inception in 55 years.
Did you say
So-
3.6 billion?
3.6 billion. In the last 2 years, Liv has given over a quarter of that in 2 years in charitable contributions. So, PGA Tour can pat themselves in the back, but I think,
Well, you can certainly give more when you have a lot more too.
well, there's no doubt about it. And
It's like giving a tip. Like some people think $4 is a great tip, but some people think $20 is a good tip. So it just depends on
on the
what your
beholder.
bank is, and obviously
It's
Liv's
kind
bank
of funny
is-
with
Only
they
you
say the
can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Wake up to the new sound of WJR in the morning. JR Morning with Guy Gordon. 6 to 9 on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk. Welcome back. It's Spin on Golf on WJR, direct from Eagle Crest Golf Resort. Once again, live in Ypsilanti, here are PGA professionals Jordan Young, Brian Cairns, Mike Fay, and WJR's own Sean Balagian.
Well, again, we want to thank all the great people out here at Eagle Crest for having us in this beautiful, beautiful facility, and the facility that's going up right
overlooking
next to
the
us.
Game Above Performance Center.
It's beautiful. So great job by Game Above. You know, as we've mentioned on the show the past few years, we have some favorites. Jeff Marcero wanted to mention one of our favorites. Bad news. I'll go bad news, good news this time. How about that?
Okay.
Epson canceled today's round in Oregon due to air quality. The good news, Amelia Garvey shot a 64 8 under yesterday. How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Good.
That's really good.
So we have our favorites on the show, and she's a favorite over the last few years.
Jeff's caddied for her a few times.
Absolutely. Yes. Even, you know what, Jeff is so committed, even when like his back was like so wrenched.
Oh, that's right.
Do you remember?
He caddied.
I felt awful for him. He wasn't walking right and everything. And he was like, nope, I'm going to go do it. I told her I'd do it, and I'm going to go do it. What's happening in Calgary on the Champions Tour?
Oh, well, we have
pull it up.
Calgary
is in the lead.
Shaw Classic.
It's tied, actually.
Yeah, they're three-way
Three-way
tie
now.
JD Petrovic and Kenny Duke. Kenny Duke and Petrovic have 2 or 3 left. Par 5 including. They're all tied. So we'll see what happens there. It looks like one of those guys might come up on top, but we'll see. I thought it'd be smoky out there, but it was smoky west of there. All the way to Victoria, actually.
There he is again, Sean.
Yeah.
What's
See
that?
him creeping up there.
Yep. Oh, you're
tied fifth.
Who's that?
KJ
KJ
Choi.
KJ Choi.
He did it again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Darren Clark at 11 under after a 7 under finish today. But as Jordan said, JD with an 8 under today, three-way
in the clubhouse
tie. Yeah, he's in the clubhouse though. A 3-way tie at the top.
Allied Championship next week at Warwick.
Yes.
Get
Gosh,
out
it was
there.
always
It's
fun
gonna be
going out there.
It's going to be just like it was before.
Yeah.
It's going to be about 90.
It's such a beautiful course. It really is such a fun event out there for so many years. All right, you know what? I always do this before we get to BC's. What do you guys got coming up the next? I know it's still busy for you. We talk about it all the time. Oh, golf season's ending. No, it's not. It's not even close to ending.
Brian and I will be playing teamed up tomorrow. PGA Championship for Michigan. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Top 9 guys go to nationals. We'll again see what happens, and yeah.
How's your ankle?
Ankle's great.
Is it? You're ready to go?
No. No. My shoulder's torn.
Oh, I thought it was your ankle. I'm sorry. I
no,
thought
my
it was your
ankles
ankle.
are great.
Oh, okay. Did I just hit your bad shoulder by the way?
It's
What
okay.
a jerk. What an absolute jerk.
It's okay.
My
all right.
apologies.
We're all getting older, but yeah, that's
Isn't
what we're
that
doing.
the truth?
What do you got going on?
We have the girls golf, right? Now, high school golf, like we've been talking about. Very busy teaching still, so it's good. Real good.
Yeah. There's going to be a busy week.
Yeah.
Especially with the, did we mention the heat?
Yeah, the heat.
Yes, it's
And
gonna
we
be
do have to
hot.
say a special thanks for Jeff Marshall. I don't know, it's been 10 years for him, Nick Roddy and Dave and all the guys that help us out, put the show on for the season. And we're still going almost a decade. And I know it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
It's
and
fun.
Good
This
to
is
hang out
great.
with you guys and talk a little golf.
This is my 3rd year, so thanks for inviting me. And I don't know what we wouldn't do without Dave Rieger's smiling face. He always has such a big smile on his face, such a good mood.
He might have a punk of the week.
You're my boy, Rieger. Yeah, it might be me. That's why we're not going to go to Rieger's punk of the week.
I'm going to nominate mine. It's going to be the whoever was on the Short Game Married Art Facility and decided to take 5 divots that were about the size of a phone out of the greens. Right next to the putt, right next to the hole. I don't get it. I don't understand how people cannot figure it out. It's your area to practice. Why ruin it?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get it at all. All right, I think we got BC there. Maybe we can pull BC up because we have, of course, as I mentioned, we've got the punk of the week, and then I challenged him to give me a punk of the year, and he seemed to accept that challenge.
No
So
problem.
What do you say?
No
he just
problem.
no problem.
problem.
No problem. All right, let's start with the punk of the week. BC, what do you got?
I'm going with the USGA. USGA is still going down this path of talking about the ball rollback. And coincidentally, the ball rollback will do very little to dismay the manufacturers or sway the manufacturers from making hotter drivers or making drivers that make the ball go farther. Since the inception of a driver that went from 380 cc's to 460 cc's, the incremental accuracy and lengthening of tee shots on the PGA Tour has gone up an average of 19 yards, and the accuracy has honed in on from 60, just under 61% to 73% in accuracy for the leader of the PGA Tour. The USGA fails to recognize the equipment, the driver, and the fairway woods are the problem. They got their heads so far up their rear ends. Their white shirts are so dirty brown, they can't see a freaking thing out of their own damn cars. They're idiots. Wake up and smell the roses and fix the damn drivers, you idiots. Punk of the week out.
All right. Do you have one?
Oh, boy.
Do you have one for the year, BC?
I got Mr. Monahan, of course. Mr. Monahan took a little 2-week vacation because he was going through some serious anxiety attacks after what happened and some serious death threats. So, slash him and Jimmy Dunn. I mean, the rhetoric that the PGA Tour has handed everybody on how things have handled and how they betrayed the players. Well, the players, Rory McIlroy is going to be a billionaire in 3 years under this, what they call a merger, what I call a takeover. So you know what, Jay Monahan, Jimmy Dunn?
Punk of the year.
Punk of the year.
Guys, a lot of fun. Really appreciate it. Check out Mike Fay and BC and Jordan. They're doing a lot of stuff. Good luck to you guys in the next few days. Rieger, thank you. Nick Roddy, Marcero, who's back at the station? Fisher, thank you very much. Most importantly, thank you for inviting us into your radios. We will talk to you next spring right here. Spin on Golf 760 WJR.
Diabetes,